In just over a week, I am moving here and I'm going to be sleeping in that. And for a little bit of context, my nan is essentially the watcher of the woods. The guy that owns all of this area, the person who lives in this house, keeps an eye on things here. So for the first week that I move in, literally a week away, or maybe even today as you're watching this video, I need to be here essentially keeping an eye on things. So for the first week, I'm going to be sleeping in my tent box because it's not quite ready to sleep in the house because we're going to be working on it and I don't want dust and stuff everywhere. And then after that, we'll be getting a caravan and I'll be sleeping in there. So this area here will be home base for quite a while. And honestly, I can't wait to camp out in the woods. That being said, this view at night time is probably going to be quite scary. But thanks to today's sponsor, Reolink, I don't actually have to worry about that anymore because I have security cameras all over the place. And for today's video, they have sent me their 2K smart battery powered doorbell. This little unit comes with a 180 head to toe angle, which means I'll never miss a person, a parcel, or maybe a cat if that wanders by. And it has dual band Wi-Fi, which is super helpful because my doorbell's there and my house is over 30 meters away. And in a not so distant future, there will be a gate here as well, which will stop delivery drivers even getting in. But thanks to its two-way audio system, I will be able to move my doorbell onto the gate so I can talk to the delivery driver and tell him to wait, or when I get electric gates, let him in so he knows where to take the package. It's also IP65 weatherproof, so it handles the UK rain no problem, and it runs off a 7,000 milliamp battery. So if you want to step into the future of security cameras, then make sure you scan the QR code on screen now and grab yourself the Reolink doorbell. It is actually so good. I have tried many doorbells in the past, and this one, no subscription fees. You can put your memory card straight into the back of it and you don't have to pay for anything. You just have to get a doorbell, plug it in, and it is good to go. I highly recommend it. If you can't scan the QR code, then always check the links in the description or the pinned comments. A little later in the video, I will be replacing my old doorbell with this thing. But as the UK is currently experiencing a heat wave and I have a lot of stuff that I need to burn, clock is ticking and I need to get a fire going. So on to the task at hand. Many years ago, there used to be a fire pit right there, and you used to be able to drive all the way around these trees to where the play area is. This section here was essentially a roundabout, but as you can see, it is heavily overgrown. And as my nan is clearing a lot of stuff out, as well as I am, there is so much stuff to burn. Now, obviously, because of the weather in the UK right now, I can only make small fires because I don't want to risk burning the woods down. That would be really bad. However, before I can even start a fire, I need to clear that area out as it is the most open space in the woods for us to make a fire. So we're whipping out the big guns and we're getting rid of my enemy, the nettles. Well, I put a sizable dent in where the fire used to be. I imagine all of this was a lot more trimmed back. However, I kind of feel like I'm fighting a losing battle. Whilst I am chipping away at it, I am getting eaten alive by all the little bugs that I'm releasing into the air. And it's also showing me how dry it is underneath. So you can kind of see here by all the brown that it's just very dry and dead underneath this crazy overgrowth. Which means if I light a fire here, the likely chances of it spreading and going that way rather quickly is very high. So I think starting a fire there in the height of summer, probably not a good idea. So I was looking back where we used to make the fires, which was over there, but again, more dry, dead stuff. And after a little bit of careful consideration and thinking, yeah, starting a fire in this weather is just not smart. Everything is like so dry, even though it's been raining a lot recently, which is why I thought it might be a good idea to get a fire going. It's just so dry. If something like comes off the fire and hits the wood and sets the wood on fire, I am beyond screwed. So even though I wanted to clear out a space to make a fire, I think I'm gonna just leave it with the fact that I've kind of put a dent in it for now and carry on with some other jobs, which includes sorting this area out. With the wasp infestation now all cleaned up, we have started moving things into the attic. However, there are still a lot of boxes in this room, especially all of my DIY tools, which don't need to be in here, especially considering I'm going to be accessing them quite regularly when we start renovating the house. So some of the stuff needs to come out of here and go into here. And even though this is not the most safe and secure area for my stuff to go in, I don't like the fact that you can look through the windows and you're able to see everything that's in here. So we're going to create some shutters on these windows here made out of OSB. It is not going to be fancy or pretty. It is literally just to serve a purpose. I thought of a multitude of different ways to cover up the windows, but I think just sticking some OSB cut to size with a hinge on it and just lining it up so you can see out when we're in here but close it when we leave is probably the best thing. Especially because right now packages and deliveries kind of get left here, and when you just look through the window, you've got thousands and thousands of pounds of stuff just lying around. And like I said, even though it's not the safest thing in the world in here, I have cameras everywhere, and if someone really wanted to, they're gonna be able to get through this stud wall and get in there anyway. So I can't get overly stressed about keeping things out here, but prying eyes I can avoid. First things first, let's clear all this area with a bit of magic. Loads better. Right, with the area all cleared out and the aircon turned off because it is very hot. It is currently 25 degrees outside, so I imagine it's probably roaming around 30 in here thanks to this. But I've got a few bits of OSB offcut which I'm just going to trim down to size and fit to the windows. Really easy, as I said. I'm just going to stick some hinges on, screw it in, and then job's done. Okay, DIY Dave definitely got involved in the making of these shutter things, but premise works. They hang up there, some of them by string because there's nothing there to hold it. Some of them just hooked on, drop them down, closes, you can't see in anymore. It is far too hot to be doing this. But at least the job is done. Mission successful. The next task is to fit this. And I was going to put it there, but whilst my nan still lives here, I don't want to confuse doorbells. So I'm going to fit it to that door there. Super easy. It actually comes with this handy template, so I can just place this on the door, put my drill holes in and screw it into place. So I think I'm going to put it around here. Draw where my screw holes are going to be so I can use this template later. Pop a couple of holes in. Oh, that smells nice. And then this just screws into here. Right, that's not going anywhere. Then we just need to screw this mounting plate in with these tiny screws. Already dropped. I'm really bad with fiddly things, but that should just go into there and onto that. Okay, mounting plate all screwed in. Should be able to now just slot this into place. That clicks into the top. That's not going anywhere. We've got a doorbell. So it is currently detecting as my watch keeps pinging to let me know that there's someone at the door. But if I press the doorbell, it's ringing off the home hub. And it's ringing there, and my phone is now ringing. So you can literally see there, the doorbell is ringing. If I slide to answer, it's connecting me to my front doorbell. So I can literally just have a conversation with whoever is at the door. How good is that? But as I mentioned earlier on the video, I can use the app to remotely talk to whoever's on the other end of the door if I want to, so I don't actually have to answer the phone call. There's also options to leave a quick reply, or if I click on playback, it will show me who's been at my door. As I've mentioned, the fact that it's a battery powered doorbell is great because I can leave it there without having to hardwire it, but it does come with appropriate wires if you did want to hardwire it yourself. So whether you put it on the door or if you put it next to the door here, you can drill straight through, connect the wiring and have your doorbell permanently wired, so you never have to take it off to charge it. However, when it goes on the gate that's going to end up here, unless I trench wiring all the way to it or I have above ground armored cable or something like that, I think battery powered probably works best for me. Anyways, with that done, it's time to get back in the car and head off to our next destination. But before I leave, I wanted to very quickly show the temperature in this room. As it is currently recording 31.5 degrees. Now, if it wasn't evident, it's a different day today as I film this. But today it's 23 degrees right now But the other day, it was 29 to 31 degrees. So I'd love to know how hot it was in there when I was doing everything earlier on in the vlog. Whereas right now, it is 8 degrees hotter in the lean-to than it is outside. I am most definitely going to be keeping an eye on what that reads. But I did have another thought on my way down today, and that was, as this is such a sun trap, ideally, I could have put like a tarp across it just to cover it up so it didn't get so hot in there. But in the future, it might be worth looking into getting solar panels on top of this when I replace and fix up the roof and stuff. If I put solar panels up there, I wonder how much energy I could generate from solar, because the sun is constantly hitting it all day, and kind of have like an off-grid garage. It won't entirely render my trenching through my garden completely pointless, but we would most definitely save on electricity if we had solar power up there. Something genuinely, after all the stuff we're doing on the campsite with solar power for our toilet trailer, it's something I really want to look into and see if I can get like a proper off-grid setup. Because one of my kind of future projects here in the woods is to create like a little cabin that's completely off-grid, like a tiny house. Because when we have guests up, they have nowhere to stay currently. So if we can create like a little outdoor cabin here for guests to come and stay in, and it's a completely off-grid system, I think that would be really cool and something for a future project. All right, let's lock up shop and get on to my nan's other house, because I need to finish building that swing and fitting some blinds here. These blinds, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce whatever the that says, should be really easy to install. We just screw these into the wall and then these clip on. I do actually have 2 blinds, because one is going to cover this window and the other one is going to cover this one. So try and get a nice neat line down the middle here, hopefully. All right, I think I've achieved it. We're down the middle, blinds open nicely. Now I could put these things down there. However, the beaded cords that you use to pull it up and down, they connect with this and it doesn't fit through the child lock thing. So if I install the child lock there, you can't actually use the full length of the cord. It's a bit odd. So I've left it loose for now, which is probably better than anything, because in the corner my nan can reach in and bring it out to her to actually pull this, rather than it being tied to the very corner there, because I can't swap these rounds either. Either way, it works. If I need to come back and change something, then I will do, but for the time being, we've got blinds in the kitchen. Next up, swing. Really hoping this is equally as easy as it is 26 degrees and it's not getting any cooler. So, with that in mind, let's roll the time lapse. It is hot. Dare I? Oh, it does. Oh, it works. I quite literally get a sweat in my eye, and it's hard to open my eye. But man, what a faff that is to build by yourself. Fortunately, I had Benjamin help me out. But crikey, it is warm. However, with another job complete, I think my day as a handyman is also complete. And it's time for me to go home. Where I am happy to report, and shockingly, for the last time, the weather is breezy here and a little bit grey. It's actually very, very nice. I am sorry that I have banged on about how hot it has been recently. Wouldn't be British otherwise, but whilst I'm here, I thought I'd give you a little update on things that have changed, or seemingly not really changed. This is still looking terrible, I'm sorry. Close your eyes, but I honestly don't think there is any point in me tackling this when I've got a house to move to and also helping my nan move out of her house. But there's new windows and the gutters have gone. In my lounge, I actually boxed this window in, but instead of like completely bricking it up, because this stuff costs a lot of money, they've actually put a frosted glass pane in here and put a brand new window in. So if later on down the line they decide to reveal the window, they can obviously just change the pane of glass out so it's not frosted, and there'll be another window in the lounge. Personally, as someone who's lived here for a long time, I genuinely don't think there needs to be a window there, but from the outside you can't really tell from looking in that it's been boxed in. I mean, it is obviously white, but it is what it is. It's nice. Another window has been installed on our corridor, as this was hanging apart, hanging off, falling apart. it was broken. And honestly, the guy that fitted these has done a cracking job because it's really, really good. But if I wander around the side of the building, you can see the old asbestos drainage that has come off. I think they're having some like metal effect drains putting on. I don't know if I'll be here to see that because I am, as you watch this video, I am moving this week. My timeline of vlogs is all over the place at the moment. You're gonna have to bear with me. I'm sorry that it's been here, there, and all over the place, but with how things are crazy at the moment, I'm just kind of make it up as I go along. But yeah, boot room is no longer single pane. That's got a new window on it. And the pantry, same thing. Frosted glass to cover up the fact that I boxed it in. Looks really good. Have to say, I have actually loved living here. And a little part of me wishes that it was actually me moving into it once it's all been done up and hedged off and you got a front garden, a back garden and all this space. It is a little bit too small for our family, having 2 kids and obviously me and Jess, and we both work from home. But it is a lovely spot. Being in the middle of nowhere is just bliss. And don't get me wrong, I am super excited to move to my nan's house. There's just a lot of work to do and a little bit nervous about that. Packing is most definitely in process, but our house is upside down. I still have a lot of sockets that I need to remove, like the ones in here. This probably needs to come down, as well as everything associated with my desk setup. And I need to move a lot of things. Now I've got 2 days booked in where I have a moving van, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I've got some help coming along to help me move some stuff, because a lot of this stuff, especially the white goods, is super heavy. But we're getting really, really close to moving now, and the vlogs are going to change quite a bit. I've got some special guests involved in the videos, which is going to be super fun, but a hell of a lot of renovation of the garden, landscaping, the garage, my workshop, the house, living in the woods on my own. There's a lot going on, so buckle in because it's going to be really fun. And join me on this journey where I can say I am so grateful for Reolink partnering with me this year to do my security. The cameras are genuinely super, super good. I know I say this a lot, but I can't give them credit enough. I have had no issues with the Reolink cameras. They are crystal clear. I get notifications when I want them, not just bugged all the time for minor things like a leaf blowing, which is quite relevant where I live at the moment, or where I'm going to be living. But notifications that I want, and the fact that they are providing with cameras to share with you guys is fantastic. So I am so grateful. I'm super excited to see what we can put together in the future. But again, if you want to get your doorbell, scan the QR code that you can see on screen now. Links will be in the description. And thank you again to Reolink for sponsoring this video. Now, as I said, there is still so much to do. And as of July the 16th, Wednesday, I'm pretty sure that's when this video is going live. Sad times, Jess is actually returning to work and dad duties commence. So yeah. Whilst there are a lot of things content-wise that I've got planned, I'm hoping that I can film everything. But there are going to be some times where, you know, I've got Lily with me, and to be honest, I might actually kick it all off with a dad day, because that is actually how this channel began. It began with me having Benjamin on Wednesdays, and I thought I would just vlog me and Benjamin spending time together. So, you know, I might film a little bit of a day in life type thing of me and Lilia spending the day together and seeing what we get up to. So if you're looking forward to that kind of video, very old school vlog style, then let me know in the comments down below, and I'll just continue to film whatever I can and whatever we get up to, and taking time for family as well. I know a lot of people are concerned about like me burning out. I'm like here, there, everywhere, doing all these kind of things all of the time, but I am conscious of burnout and doing too much. So I do take time, and we are taking our time with this new house. We're not like jumping at the deep end and trying to flip the house, kind of like I did with the bungalow in the space of a month. The only reason I did this house like so quickly was purely because Lilia was on the way, and I had like 6 weeks to make this house livable for a newborn. So yeah, thank you for bearing with me. Again, thank you to Reolink, and I shall catch you guys in the next video, if there is one. I'm trying to keep on top of it, but there's no promises. You know, the bag is well and truly out the window, and we'll just see how things go. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace, peace, much love. Bye-bye. So if you want to step up into the future with the wasp infestation, why can't I say that? What infestation? Especially because right now, can't click. As it is currently recorded. Nice. Being able to cut without having to have a guy.